Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 588. Today we'll be doing battle with the Reaper in Backpack Battles. And so, I think this is our last battle with the Reaper this week. The Weeper, if you will. I've certainly been losing quite a bit with the Reaper, making me weep a little bit. But I think as this video is released, a patch should come out later in the day, or at least patch notes will come out. And with that note, I do intend to rotate around to the Ranger for a week once that new patch hits. But, you know, let's see if we can get a little happier about it, stop doing the old weepy face, if you will, jump into battle with the Reaper. Maybe something cool will come about. And so, not the most spectacular of starts. I do like to have the shield, the broom, and the garlic. I guess we can't complain about 2 out of the 3 being on sale. Let's go ahead and snatch those up. It leaves us with 5 gold left over. I'm not a huge fan of going after whetstones with the Reaper. Like, it just feels like if you want to go for like a hero sword build, you need to be able to keep the hero sword in your bag for a long time until you have the chance to upgrade it into a falcon blade, and it just doesn't really strike me as something the Reaper particularly wants to do. So we'll let that one go. I guess we'll snatch up the shiny shell. It's not a huge investment. I don't really like it, but you know, we got the money for it. In these early rounds, that little bit of extra health can be what really turns the tide in a battle, as we don't have the space to put it in our bag. A little bit of whoops, but I think we'll okay. I think we'll handle this guy fine. We probably should have switched this garlic and the fly of garlic around as well. Get that lower cooldown on the garlic, get those poisons running up on old amazing here. Still gonna take down the victory. You don't got to be perfect. You just got to be good enough, right? That's what they keep saying. This is how life goes. I've been watching so much of the Great British Bake Off these days. Like, as you come out and have children, having babies around is a new thing to me, and you just have to have like background noise on at some point. And the Great British Bake Off is what I've been turning to background noise, and that's the way a lot of the people come out there and feel. It's like you don't have to be the best, you just have to be not the worst. Which, you know, depending on what your goals or what you consider a victory is, that can be a viable strategy, right? Everybody in the world's not trying to be rank number 1 on the ladder. You just kind of want to see how far you can go. But just being good enough to not get last place certainly doesn't bode well for long-term success. We'll apply the Great British Bake Off strategies at some point in here, I'm sure. But all right, moving forward, one of the things I've been kind of interested in these days is looking to build around the big Goobert. I can't remember what it's even called. The King Goobert, if you will. I hear a lot of people talking about the King Goobert in terms of how strong it is, but it's also fairly challenging to get assembled. And so I'm kind of interested, as this is probably our last Reaper video for, you know, 3 weeks or so. Maybe we just go for the King and see what we can do. But I'm curious if this is like real or not. And I feel like the people that talk about the King Goobert being real are probably playing in unranked games, and they're showing their like Facebook highlight reels from where they got the King Goobert together once out of, you know, the 10 games that they played. But we'll see, right? I'm ready to have my opinion changed on the matter if things come together, and it has some items that I'm not completely opposed to picking up. And so let's just go for it. Let's see what turns up. We'll pick up the Goobert. Definitely want to pick up this on sale dagger, and then our bag space is definitely hurting here. I was hoping that we could roll into a 4-slot bag. The 2 is going to have to do with this space, and so let's see. How are we going to make these assemble? It's not going to be perfect in these early rounds with the Goobert coming in and taking up so much space, but I think how do we even want to assemble him? Like, I think something like this is probably okay. You know, it's not, we're not really loaded up with the greatest setup for this unit at this point, missing out on the bigger bag, but we probably wouldn't have fitted in with the bigger bag anyways. And so, off to the races. I think this is good. See how it happens. Got that knife in there, bringing the pokes, the broom doing the work. So this is the true sign of combat readiness, coming to battle with a broom and a knife, the counter to the home invasion. All right. Oh shit, we hit that Goobert activation right at the end. We might pull this one out. Nice. I think he took us down to 1, and then we had a Goobert snatch right at the very end. Sucks for this guy. He's probably upset. I'm trying to see how low the health got. I thought we got down to 1. Sticking at that 4 mark. We had a heal in here somewhere. I won't look for it forever. Regenerated 9 health with the Goobert. Yeah, there it is. See? Look at that. He got us down to 1 health. Just a little bit short before the 9 heal came in. LOL. All skill, I mean. All skill. Good stuff. Do we just want to continue getting more Gooberts? Is that what life brings about? Now, I've definitely never gone for like the rainbow Goobert to where you go and actually get 4 of them out here together. This is just asking for failure. I can already tell. But they're turning up in full force. I think I'm just gonna stick with the 1. It's too much of a meme to go for the bigger ones, I think. And so we can pick up the walrus tusk here, upgrade our shield, roll. Gotta find some more bag space though. It's a little bit of a help with that turning up the 2-slot bag, but still just hurting overall. I think we're gonna have to just take the broom out of bag, get these hits in with the dagger, and with this I'm not certain which one to expect more out of in terms of Goobert activations. It's probably the buckler, right? As the buckler prevents the melee attack, we get the activation on the Goobert. Like, it's more consistent with the dagger, but the dagger only activates every 3.5 seconds, as to where the wooden buckler, I assume, would be faster. I wish there was kind of a tracker for these kind of things, but it's kind of is what it is, I guess. All right, next round, and we do need to keep in mind we're gonna be going for like a mana-based build. That King Goobert really wants you to be generating mana, and so we're gonna hang on to that broom, turn it into some kind of wand to see if we can't pick up some other mana-based items. All right, give me those activations. That Goobert coming through right at the end. Not enough to save us in that battle, but he was trying to put in the work. Okay. So we're getting the wand, right? The mana orb is turned up. It's not a super strong mana orb at this point because we don't have any mana. So once we get our broom upgraded, it's not going to be doing a ton. But it's a start. That's where we want to be. Let's pick that up. Take the reroll. Hopefully we find a bag. And we've got one. The leather bag turns up. Good stuff. And so how do we want to come in and get this rearranged? I'm leaning towards something maybe like this, as to where, you know, we keep the spiked shield over here activating on the Goobert, and then we can get the broom running up in the main bag more along the lines, something like this. So we're getting the bigger activations off the broom. Now this is the kind of awkward round. Like, what I intend on is I typically have a mana thirst, and so we'll have a broom and a mana thirst both touching in the storage coffin. Trying to think if we want our speed bags right next to the Goobert so that we can then just get the dagger up and running with it as well. That's probably the way to do it. Alright, we'll take whatever's left, put that in the old coffin. I don't think we want to save any of this other stuff. We'll pick up the on-sale corrupted crystal, I guess, but I don't want any more bucklers or brooms. It always feels to me like I've been more and more impressed with the toad, but I don't really like the toad unless we're going for the pet build. And so it just feels so expensive to be getting these 2 keywords like every 4 seconds. Like, even if you're getting it every 3 seconds, I guess the mana gain's kind of okay, but it just... I'm either like using it wrong, or it feels like it's just a little bit too expensive. I'm not certain what the total answer is there, but you have to be using it for more than just like bad mana gain. You have to be using it as like a pet for the snake subclass item, or using it as a magic item for a prismatic build. Like, it has to do something more than just gain clovers and mana. And as far as I remember, the Reaper doesn't have any clover sink, and so I guess you could pick up the godless rapier or whatever that thing is called, but it doesn't strike me as a real winning strategy. Although I've never come out and gone for it. So what do we got here? The hammer build with no daggers. We got to be okay, right? I think we're fine. we'll get the takedown here for certain. He's not doing nearly enough damage this round. The hammer definitely needs some friends to be effective. All right, good job, team. Next battle. What do we got? More Gooberts turning up. they say bust. You got to go for it. You got to get the Goobert builds up and running. Not quite. So here we'll snatch up the Corrupted Crystal. We have the Cap of Resilience turn up at this point. I do like the thing that I think about though with the Corrupted Crystal is I want to be building towards the Corrupted Armor, and that's where I kind of want the first one to go. The Cap of Discomfort we can do without, but the Corrupted Armor I do want to pick up, and so I'm not opposed to picking up the Cap at this point, but it just feels a little bit early. Otherwise, let's just take a roll, see if another bag turns up. And we did. We got a bag here. We could wait around on the bag, right? We can get the blueberries in. We can get the crystal in. Just hold on to the bag because we don't have any space to use with it. I think that's okay. Got another broom turning up. You just want to go for the double wand. It's ill-advised. I'll say it's ill-advised. Okay, a broom and a dagger. I think we're good to go here. Opponent doesn't really have any upgrades at this point. Now the thing, as I say, you know, we don't have enough like mana to go for the double wand. Like if we do get this King Goobert together and we have like the Alchemist Pit, the Alchemist thing that generates mana as well, I'm curious if that's not enough to actually pop off in terms of using 2 wands instead of just 1. I don't know about that. It seems tempting, like to really get those big like mana payoff items going, and get a moon armor in there with it as well. Ooh, so many things, so many big time plays. But let's see. I think we will end up finding ourselves going towards the cauldron. I haven't fully decided where this build is going to go, but this is the kind of go-to in terms of what you use with a mana-based build. And so I'm kind of interested in picking up a few foods at this point, although I could definitely see something like Mr. Struggles just working here as well, so that we don't have to be like so super all in on this stuff. And I'm just always like lacking in how impressed I am with food builds as far as the later game stages go. All right, let's get some of these friends in here up and running. Got a nice stack of food in here wrapped around the blueberries. Got a decent little start here. Have to decide on where we want to take it. The thing with going for a lot of these real like mana heavy builds is they're very expensive, and you need kind of a lot of late game items to fall. Jesus Christ, we just got smoked that round. Did we just take a mega crit? I wasn't even watching. It was like you gained a bunch of flames. Where we at? We took like 20 or so, about a third of the way. Just getting dunked on. What's the opponent do? Or hide us. Show the opponent. 16 from the Ruby Whelp. You just hit us a bunch real fast. Didn't even look like crits. Okay. Fine, dude, whatever. What more can you say about it? You just say, yeah, fine, dude, whatever. But all right, we got a bag. Not going to pick up the Thorn Whips. We're nowhere near doing anything with those. You could just come in and pick up the Ruby Egg, right? As we just got smoked by a dragon. Why not pick up our own? I don't think that's in the cards here. Although I probably should go dragons more frequently with the Reaper. All right, let's skip past that. If it's on sale, I'm usually on board, but it's not quite there. So here we got a bag. Kind of weak here. We'll finally sell off the shiny stone, pick up another food. Just come in and snatch up these extra activations now. Something like that. All right, let's roll on. Counting on you, Goobert. You got to do the work. So far away. God, we're getting aced this round. Where'd all this damage come from? Oh, he's actually got mana? Does he actually have mana? I don't know. That's tough for me to tell where that stuff's hitting from. And so as far as this goes, right, we do intend on going towards the mana build with the magic staff and that Goobert. There's the cauldron here to help make that pay off. I think that's going to be better than the witch. Let's just snatch up the cauldron here. See if we can't get some of these other things going. Now, I would like some defensive items. The leather armor is just not the one that we want. We talk about this concept a lot to where, we have heal from the cauldron, we have heal from the Goobert, and if you start out the battle and just gain like 150 armor, then you're not really making good usage out of these heals. You would prefer to like increase your max health with potions or whatever, or as you just say like get damage mitigation out of a spiked shield that you heal back up. And so we're not really looking to have the leather armors within our kit. Picking up another bag's fine, but we gotta get we gotta get some armor based stuff in here. I'm seeing the pineapple, and I know that we're about to just go really food heavy here at this point with the cauldron turning up, and I'm kind of tempted. Like, the thorns are pretty decent, the heal is decent, it just feels like it's $1 too expensive. But it's like, what are we expecting to get out of this round, right? We can pick up the pineapple, or we can roll, and if like we hit one of the shields or the armors or something, we just can't afford it anyways. And so maybe we just pick up the pineapple, soak up that extra 4 gold for the next round, and hopefully we hit something there soon. But as far as this goes, we're going to have to come in and reposition all of the bags. I'm trying to think of how we want this to look. Like, it's a touch awkward getting like these 4x4 units next to each other and having them interact well with the coffin. And so what I'm kind of thinking is it's a kind of two-pronged thing, right? If we ever get the upgrades for the Goobert, it's going to have to take up a 2x3, a 6-slot space. But at least with the Goobert that we have now, I'm kind of thinking I want to turn him this direction upright, and then we can put the cauldron on top of it so that we can consistently get those activations, and then have it kind of wrapped around with this other stuff. Then we should be able to just put our weapons underneath, and we'll see if we have enough space to do it this way. Let me see. So I'm leaning towards something kind of like that. And then we're going to put get him up here. We'll have the food on the top, and then I was looking to, where's our wand? Can I have our wand down here underneath the Goobert, being the other way that we're generating the activations? Could put the shield down here as well, something like that. And then we're out of bag space at this point. Oh, hang on, shit. No, we're not. We got all these extra bags in here. It's like we're out of bag space to wrap the cauldron, but we should be decent now. The berries. We've got more fly agarics, so we'll put those on top. Prefer the pineapple to be up in this top space. We can eventually get those hexes cleaned up just a little bit. Alright, start to wrap in the rest of these old foods. Dagger can fit in wherever. And then we should probably, with the debuffs inflicted, just gain the armor. Like, just sitting around and gaining the extra fatigue isn't really what we're trying to do with this build, I don't think. And so probably shouldn't have had the corrupted crystal just hanging out in the bag, but it is what it is. I think we're starting to get off to a decent space here. See how it goes up against a ranger. It looks like half thorns, half clovers. You know what they say. You don't want to be half-assing anything. You want a whole ass one thing. Wayne Gretzky. it's the Wayne Gretzky quote, right? False. False. But all right, here it turns up, right? We've got the holy armor turning up now. We can afford it. That sounds nice and good. I'm not opposed to just selling off this dagger. It's going to be a touch awkward here to get these bags to line up where we have the holy armor and the spiked shield and everything all working together. I mean, maybe it's not as tough as I was giving it credit for. We are going to have these kind of awkward spaces to where we either get the food going better, right? We could say get the double fly agarics onto the single garlic out here. I think that's fine. We lose out on a star from the cauldron, but it seems pretty reasonable. And oh shit, this holy armor was starting to upgrade. I forgot about the corrupted crystal. Is that where we want to go? Like, I couldn't quite decide if we wanted to go for a corrupted armor kind of build, but I think we gave up on the corrupted armor build when we picked the cauldron, right? And so I think we want to probably just pick up the moon armor, have another way to generate the mana. And then I guess we could try and find a second wand or a mana thirst or something. It's just going to depend on how many of these mana orbs turn up. And then I'm not opposed to just using the dark crystal on something like a cap of discomfort. I think that's okay. Right, but we don't want to upgrade the holy armor. That's like the big decision that's happening right now. I think that's fine. We'll at least give it a round or two and see if any more magic orbs turn up or brooms turn up or what things look like in terms of our upgrades. What do we got here? The chain whip, rip, and debuff. It's not the end of the world for us. It sucks to lose out on the mana, but we tend to spend the mana pretty quick. We just got crit huge in there. Bummer. Bummer. All right, so we do have another broom. I'm good to go for it. I think that seems reasonable. We can pick up the broom. We'll pick up this bag. We just got to find the rest of our combos, right? I'm pretty certain I haven't rolled past any of it in terms of the gem box or the crown. And so we'll see. Got an on sale unidentified amulet. It's the pet one. we do have the pet to activate on the Goobert, but it's not going to be in the cards for today. Let's see. Let's take one more roll. We still have a decent amount of money here. So there's the box of riches. It's starting to come together, right? We're just the crown away from activating the big item. So here, let's get it on board. We can slap in the dagger, I guess. I think I'll lock the protective purse just to make sure we're getting some bag space in. Okay. We're so close, aren't we? It's got to get there. What do we have? I have no idea what this guy's trying to do. Looks like some kind of buff mitigation thing. He's gaining 1 million mana with nowhere to spend it. Still looks like we're getting annihilated in this space. Just his health is staying consistent, and ours is just going down and down and down. Oh man, we've only got 1 heart left. Oh, brutal. Brutal. I don't know if it's going to come together. Wrong heart piece here. Don't need the heart container. Pick up the leather bag. Can we do it? Like, we're so far away monetarily from activating that Goobert. Man, I'm concerned. I'm concerned. Let's see. Don't really want any of this stuff here. Continue to roll. We can pick up the bag, and that's just where we're going to be kind of stuck. Bummers. Bummer City. We can at least clean this up a little bit. Where did I mess that up? We need to get a garlic on the left side. There we go. All right. That's closer. So those look decent. Our foods look good. We've got to get this broom in here as well. We're not spending enough stamina on each round. That's one of our potential problems at this point as well. Let's see. It's like I know we have to have enough bag space for everything here. It's just going to be a matter of figuring it out. Probably just made it worse. Probably just made it worse. I'm trying to envision how to get this second broom in. I neglected to realize is I guess I don't know how important the activations actually are on this Goobert. Right, so if it's like if we want to get here's how we do it. There we go. We're getting there at the end. Even got the holy armor under the speed bag. What's the chipped sapphire do? On 5 mana gain to get 2 armor? It's not that terrible. Let's pick up this 1 mana gem as well. We can just sell it for free if that's what it comes down to. Alright, so we got the Goobert wrapped, the Cauldron wrapped. Holy armor can't upgrade anything anyways. Squeeze them cheeks, fellas. This build just did not come together, but maybe we can survive a little longer. This guy's got to be in stamina hell, right? He's got 3 big bows. Apparently not. We just got fucking smoked. So that was it, huh? I feel like that wasn't a terrible go at trying to build that giant Goobert, but I feel like I'm spot on in the analysis of how that goes. Like, it's like you're on Reddit or you're on Discord or whatever, and you're saying like, oh, look at this. It's the most premier way to handle the Reaper. You just go and build the King Goobert. And it's essentially quite tough to get together, right? Even if things started to go better at this point, right? We would still have to find the crown and merge the crown into the gem box, then take another round and merge the gem box into the Goobert itself. And so it would take us another 2 rounds to actually get that thing up and running. And I have to feel like whenever we're talking about the negatives of social media where people are just posting their best lives, right? They don't tell you about the bad day or the mediocre day they had. They just tell you about how awesome their day was. And that's the only time they post. I feel like that's what we see in these King Goobert builds is that, somebody's playing on normals against unoptimized builds. And then, they play 8-10 games and they get it together in one, and then they post the sweet image of that one game to where they managed to get the King Goobert together, and that's what you're seeing. Now, I might be completely off base, right? I still feel like I'm very unskilled in the world of backpack battles, but I think I'm at least kind of spot on in that analysis and how it's going. But beyond that, I think one of the things to kind of say about this is, I feel like the Gooberts are always terrible. I've never been really impressed with them. And a lot of my off-stream play, I've been working a bit with the steel Gooberts and trying to bring that back a little bit and trying to move out into builds that aren't just building towards mana every single game. And, right, because I feel like that's the kind of next step is picking up on these games to where they don't go exactly how you want and branching out into places to where you may not actually get a win, but you don't lose LP or you maybe even gain a little bit. And that's what, the kind of one of the major points of these games is not necessarily getting that big win every time, right? It's the Great British Bake Off strategy as to where we're not trying to get that win, we're trying to just not lose, and that's how you can still gain LP. And so it's kind of recognizing when a game is winnable and when a game needs to just be a not loss. And that's what I feel like a lot of these kind of weapon-based builds are with the Reaper, are they're just like don't lose games. And that's where you find yourself with like a Steel Goobert or some kind of vampiric build or whatnot. And the mana stuff didn't come together, but you got good sales and stuff on the melee items, and that's where you landed. And so I think you can still at least get some valuable knowledges out of this. Like maybe we should have taken the Goobert and just converted it to a poison Goobert and then gone for the poison pets. Like that could have potentially been a thing here. But realistically, the strategy was to probably just never take the Goobert or don't take it unless it's on sale. Or the other kind of angle with Goobert is it's pretty okay in the first like 3 or 4 rounds, and then it just falls off hard, right? When you have 50 health and you gain 27 off of a Goobert, you gain 50% of your health. As we get to this final stage where we have 170 and gain 25%, that's only like 15% of your health, and so the percentages aren't nearly as good. You need to be a lot more bursty, and so maybe we should have just sold it as well. And so ultimately not successful, but there was quite a bit to learn. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you have learned a thing or two along the way. You had a good time watching. This is Bustin' Me. Thank you for being here.